I've been getting all these questions. Why did you move to another country? I'm going to answer that for you today. In June of last year, Jason and we were looking for home. We were traveling to different places, and I thought we were going to make the south of France our home. We traveled there, and then he suggested we come to this beautiful country I am in now. I didn't really have too much feeling about it. I was like, okay, never been there, let's go. So we end up landing in the airport of this country in June, and immediately my nervous system just exhaled. It was such a distinct feeling of calm and peace. You know when your body feels at home? There's no logic to it. You just feel really, really good. That's how I felt. We get to our place, and I had to teach a class the next night. Our internet, I realized, was horrible where we were living for that month, and so we had to quickly get a hotel. Jason found a great hotel. I went to the hotel, taught the class that night, and looked out on the balcony before teaching and saw this beach, and I was like, oh my God, that is so beautiful. I can't wait to go out there. So the next morning, went for a run, and as soon as I got to the ocean, my body just gravitated. It was like I was just like a magnet being pulled to this gorgeous ocean. I went straight into the water, actually right here. As soon as I submerged my body in these beautiful waters, my tension relaxed. It just melted away. My jaw opened, my hips relaxed, my belly softened. Everything just started to unwind and align with peace and who I really am. When I got in the water, I heard 3 words that changed my life. You belong here. You belong here. I get chills as I say it because it felt like it was coming from some deeper place that is hard to locate. I don't know if it came from inside me, from within these waters, from the ethers. I don't know where exactly, but the words were distinct. You belong here. 3 words that changed my life. Jason and I fell in love with this place. And immediately we apply for dual citizenship and our visas. It all happened really fast. As soon as I got back to the States, I was one day in this store buying jeans. And the woman who worked in the store looked at me and she was just like, who are you? Like, she was like fascinated by me for whatever reason. And she was like, I love your energy. Like, who are you? Where are you from? And I was like, I don't know where I'm from. Like, I don't know, but we're moving to another country. I was really disoriented at the time because we had been moving and traveling for like 2 years at that point. She said, where are you moving to? And I said, I'm moving to Portugal. She goes, oh, are you Portuguese? And I said, no. And she said, are you sure? And I said, yeah, I think I'm pretty sure. I'm not Portuguese, no. And she goes, have you ever done your ancestry testing? And I said, no. And she said, I think you should. And the way she looked at me, there was like this sparkle in her eyes, and I was like, I think I need to go do that. And I did. I got the test. I swabbed the inside of my cheek. I put it in the little tube and I sent it off. And 6 weeks later, I got the results. I am 35% Portuguese. The reason I'm sharing this with you is because when I got in these waters, when I landed even in the airport, the peace I felt in my body, keyword, in my body, in this, not here, but here, in this, in my body, immediately felt like I was in the right place, like I was at peace, I was at home. I am at home. And the reason I share this with you is because your body, our bodies don't lie. They don't know how to lie. They can only tell the truth. We have been programmed to make decisions out of logic, out of our mental capacities, out of what we have learned. And the problem with this, basing our lives simply, merely on rationale, on our intellectual capacities, on memory, is that we are just basically taking what we have learned from our conditioning in our childhoods and printing it over and over again. Repeat, 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 repeat. When we're locked in our minds, we can't feel. You know, when I work with students and I help them get in their bodies, they often feel numb. in certain chakras or in certain places in the body, and then they start to feel like a pain or a tingling or some kind of sensation because they're coming online with their physical form. Anything you want to create can only be created at the level in which you are at peace in your nervous system. If you're disconnected from your body and you're in your head a lot, I guarantee you your nervous system is really frazzled, because a body that is abandoned and rejected and sort of like dismissed because we're always overthinking, we're always planning, we're always going to the next. Instead of now, we're always nexting. It really makes the body suffer. We're mammals, we need touch, we need to connect with our bodies in order to feel peace. Our nervous systems unwind, our stress levels, cortisol drops when we are present with our bodies. I share this with you as just a beginning, a jumping off point. If you want to create your dreams, guess what? It's not going to happen from thinking, planning, over analyzing. It's going to come from befriending your body as one of the foundational pillars. And what that means is feeling your feelings. See, the reason we ejected ourselves out of our bodies and we're living this repeat misery, even though it feels comfortable because we know it, it's because we are avoiding what we feel. So we'd rather overthink and try to create from our minds so we don't have to feel anything. But the problem with that is we can never grow beyond our childhood set point energetically. Maybe a little bit, tiny bit, like it's like slothy kind of movement. Like we barely get anywhere with all this effort because we're not in our bodies. We're locked in our minds, locked in an identity, a story, a conditioning that is so outdated. This is why meditation is so powerful. This is why any kinds of embodiment practices, but many people struggle with presence and meditation because they're avoiding their feelings. I went through this for so long. When we're in our bodies, guess where our repressed emotions hang out? In the physical form. So if we're present, breathing, connected, emotion's gonna come up. What do you do with that? So this is why it's so essential to get really good at feeling what you feel without a story, without all this drama around it. Are you good at letting yourself cry, completely shed the tears without going into a story about it, or thinking or trying to get your way out of it, or what do I do? As Neil Donald Walsh once said, if you just keep doing this and doing that and doing this and doing that, all you end up with is a big pile of doo-doo. If you want a gorgeous life, you got to move out of the doing, out of the thinking, out of the excessive over-analyzing and control patterns, and let yourself remember who you are. Breathe into your body. Remember who you are beyond your identity. This is much deeper than a YouTube video, but I'm sharing this because so many people have been asking me, how did you create this in 3 months? Like from conception to actually moving here, it was the end of June we decided, and we had moved here in November. Maybe that's 4 or 5 months. So it all happened really fast because manifestation happens at the speed of peace in your body, in your nervous system. It doesn't mean having a perfect life and having no problems. No, I have had so many challenges. The last 3 years have been the hardest. And yet, because I'm present, I believe this is why, just present with what I feel, and I'm not running from pain or grief. I've really gone fully into all these feelings. It creates a level of grounding and attunement and connection to even be able to identify what you want. And then to be able to, since manifestation happens in the present, to be able to align with it and embody the frequency that allows you to have it now. The main reason I'm sharing this with you is because if you have a dream in your heart, it's meant for you. And it is possible for you. And I don't want to BS anybody and say, oh, there's a future waiting for you that's perfect. No, moving here has not been perfect. It's been miraculous. I love it. And it has been filled with challenge. But that to me is part of life, and it's part of expansion, and it's part of awakening out of the inevitable ups and downs that are always happening in life to the still place inside that's at peace no matter what. That's another video. But what I want to say is that if you're being called to expand into a life that really resonates with your soul, it's going to be essential to master your ability to command your own energy, feel your feelings, and be in your body without running from what you feel. And that's why all my programs are focused on this. You know, we just did a program called Confident Visibility School. Visibility, I can't just like teach like, hey, like here's how you hold a camera and this is what, that's not going to work if your nervous system is terrified of being seen. So there's much deeper work on this channel. I'm going to be sharing more and more about the visibility blocks, how to clear them, how to unravel the distortions in the nervous system, things like this. So if you want that, you can subscribe. Well, the reason I shared this whole story with you is because when I saw that I'm 35% Portuguese, it just proved to me how smart our bodies are, that our bodies know where we belong, our bodies know what is good for us. But we live in a society that's not going to invite you to presence. It's not going to invite you. It's going to invite you to overthink and get trapped in fear, watch the news, dislike yourself even because of comparing yourself to advertisements that are polished and not even real. And you have way more power than that. You have the power to create. You want this, boom. You want a particular business, you want a particular relationship, you want a particular way of life, boom, 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 boom. We're constantly creating, depending on how much we are willing to let in, and that has a lot to do with our capacity to receive, which has a lot to do with our capacity to receive our own loving towards the places in our emotional bodies and in our physical bodies that have been rejected, abandoned, pushed away because we've been programmed to overthink our way out of discomfort, addict ourselves to things to not feel. But feeling is power, as long as we don't get lost in what we feel. If you want a really powerful practice, make sure to grab my workshop below to master your energy. And I also give you an audio in there you can slip in your back pocket to practice Shine Time, a meditation that's really good for all this. So you can start incrementally, gradually expanding your energy and also being able to command your energy no matter where you are or who you are with, so that you are creating beautiful things aligned with your soul rather than repeating the past that it's time to release. So if you got something from this video, ding, you can give it a thumbs up. Definitely gonna go swimming now. And just sending you guys all of my love.